In Canada, the dollar you can utilize CBC, a form of digital currency, if you so choose. The U.S. government would have complete confidence in it, and the Federal Reserve would be responsible for creating, supporting, and overseeing it. This might be an alternative to the standard methods that individuals currently use to pay for goods. Among the advantages would be the speedy settlement of payments, the ability to conduct business internationally, and the expansion of financial resources. Currently, more than 130 nations are investigating the possibilities, creating their own government-backed digital currency. Among the nations that have already begun test programs are China, India, Russia, and Japan. As early as 2028, a test run of the digital euro might be possible. Although the United States is still far behind, despite the fact that more and more information on digital currency is being available. The United States Congress uses those words. The United States Congress makes it quite evident that has granted authorization for the use of XRP. This isn't limited to financial institutions and investment firms. It is available to everyone. Deals both inside and outside of the U.S. can be made with XRP. The Federal Reserve of the United States of America is notable in this instance. Why is knowing this important? The world has changed, and the U.S. Congress knows it. Ripple is assisting a number of nations, including China, India, Brazil, and others, in developing their own digital currencies that their central banks would then issue. The United States does not wish to lag behind in this transition. Furthermore, are you aware of the business they are collaborating with? You're right, Ripple. The greatest location to go for anything related to XRP. South Africa, China, India, Russia, and Brazil make up the BRICS group. Together, these nations have developed a digital currency that may be used by central banks worldwide. America's United States is preparing to follow suit. I want to play a video for you that demonstrates how Ripple and the U.S. Federal Reserve discussed CBDCs back in 2015. Despite Ripple and the securities, this historical backdrop demonstrates that Ripple and the U.S. have collaborated in the past. And the Securities and Exchange Commission are now engaged in a highly visible dispute. This agreement increased the likelihood that Ripple would prevail in the SEC complaint. Remember in 2015 when Ripple informed the Fed about the FedNAB payment method? When they released the technique to the public, the Federal Reserve did not provide Ripple direct credit. Regardless, there are indications that they did. The Federal Reserve has discussed collaborating with a blockchain startup that may facilitate and expedite payments. It simply takes 3 to 5 seconds to complete. Gary Gendler had previously discussed the potential use of Ripple by the U.S. Federal Reserve. Gendler stated that he believed the Federal Reserve would include Ripple in its litigation against the Securities and Exchange Commission prior to his election as president. To make their payment system usable for both domestic and international transactions, they included XRP and Ripple. What if we discussed what is currently going on? FedNet has integrated Riverbank into its processing network. Riverbank released the Ripplet app, which is a well-known Ripple payment partner and is used to manage transfers. Together, let's dissect this. A bank is not the only aspect of this. This special payment processor uses the Xrp and Xrp services on Ripplet. Ripplet-compatible Xrp and Xrp services. Ripplet-compatible Xrp and Xrp services. Both of these services employ XRP and its record to make money available when it's needed. Given that Riverbank has joined FedNet, it seems evident that Xrp, Xrp, and all of the XRP-based components of Ripplet will be significant in the future. As a result, the FedNet payment system is prepared to employ XRP to satisfy its liquidity requirements for transactions that begin in other nations. This implies that when more individuals adopt XRP, its value will likely increase. And the advantages continue to increase. This is good news for your company. The fact that XRP is currently utilized in conventional banking systems is more than just an indication of how valuable the coin may grow in the future if you are an owner and reading this. This demonstrates the speed at which the international business landscape is evolving. Traditional banks are currently experiencing a paradigm shift as they come to understand that blockchain technologies, such as Ripple's, are not only quick and practical, but also affordable. To exacerbate the situation. To make matters worse, Gary Gensler's backing and the subsequent actions of institutions such as Riverbank are only the beginning. The whole financial industry will be impacted as more businesses become aware of and utilize XRP and related technology. Before I continue, I want to share some extremely wonderful news with my audience. For XRP, I can negotiate a transaction. Simply follow these 3 simple steps to join the group. If this video resonates with you, you can click the subscribe button, enable alerts, and share it with your loved ones if you like it. I'll see to it that these procedures are followed in the event that we select the fortunate winner. We wish everyone the best of luck. In this instance, we will announce the winner as soon as we reach 60,000 people. Before we continue, let's return to the topic at hand, the importance of the system and the value of XRP. There has been speculation that the U.S. Federal Reserve is considering it, and that the majority of people in the U.S. is interested in using it. On the other hand, people outside of the U.S. are beginning to realize how beneficial XRP could be to them. Numerous governments are investigating its potential implications, including those of the BRICS nations and even the European Union with its digital euro plan. These are the movies we produced on these subjects. They go into greater detail on the use of XRP in the CBDC in the BRICS nations and the digital euro initiative in Europe. To reiterate our primary argument, the U.S. is not solely considering XRP as a potential CBDC, as discussed in another video, they also intend to use it to expedite international trade. This holds true not only for CBDCs but for all banking transactions. Whether they take place in the U.S. or another nation is irrelevant. Let's first examine the implications for XRP's future worth. As more people utilize XRP, particularly large financial institutions like the U.S. Federal Reserve, its value will fluctuate. In summary, the value of a coin is mostly determined by its use. When large financial systems incorporate digital assets such as XRP, its advantages for transactions are not the only thing that immediately jumps out. Another thing to consider is how it gradually fosters faith and trust. The banking system throughout the world is undergoing rapid changes. Electronic transactions are growing in popularity as people want to be able to move money across borders swiftly and affordably.